Hey there, welcome to Worth It Wednesday. Every Wednesday we send a principle worth learning, a question worth answering, and a recommendation worth taking. Today's principle is that frugality enables bold action. Okay, so let's break it down. What is frugality? Frugality is the ability to live on less than you make. It means to live within your means. If someone could please forward this video to your congressman, I'd very much appreciate that, because I feel like it would be helpful for them to know the definition of frugality, right? But it means that your revenue is exceeding your expenses, both personally and organizationally. So that's frugality. Now, what does it mean that it enables bold action? Well, the way that I thought of this principle is I thought back to whenever I started this business, Path for Growth, 2 years ago. I left my full-time job, I left my full-time salary, and I didn't have any customers lined up. I had the basic fundamentals of what the business model was going to be, but I really, in many ways, it was a little bit of a step of faith to say, okay, this is what I feel like I'm supposed to do. It's the right thing to do, and so I'm going to step and do it. And I got so many messages at that time of people saying, man, I just don't know how you're able to take such a risk, right? That you're able to just step out and do this and bootstrap this thing from the ground up and have nothing lined up. And that's just amazing. And much less you're doing it in June of 2020. So the start of the global pandemic, that you're just bonkers, right? And you're just such a confident risk taker. And I don't think that's very true. I'm actually, I think, a pretty risk-averse person, and that can be a bad thing, right? Like, sometimes I think my go-to core emotion is fear, and that manifests as anxiety, so it's not always a great thing, but I'm just not this person that's just this confident, bold, audacious risk-taker all the time. And so that was interesting that people were sending that, and I've thought about that some, and thought about why that's the case. Well, I think that the perception didn't necessarily align with the reality, because the perception was, man, you're taking this massive risk. And I understand the sentiment, but here was the reality. For the past, literally decade, I mean, honestly, for my whole life, but especially in the past decade, since I was about 20 years old, I had been extremely frugal. And that's just my wiring. It's my predisposition, right? I'm a saver by nature. So I would literally just save money. And then also, I just don't like things very much. Literally, all I spend money on is food and races and rent, if I'm paying that at the given moment. And so I had saved up a lot of money, and whenever I felt like, okay, I think I'm supposed to start my own business, or I think this might be something I want to do, I looked at it, and I kind of looked at my living expenses, and then looked at how much I had saved up, and I had something like 24 or 25 months of my living expenses saved up in my bank account. And so I was like, okay, well, if I can't get this business figured out in 24 months, then I probably shouldn't exist. I probably shouldn't be a business owner. And so it enabled bold action, right? And it wasn't like I was taking this massive risk. It was that I had saved, right? I had put money away so that when opportunity availed itself, I was prepared for it. And so I want to offer this to you right now as an encouragement. Some of you may be savers by nature. Remember that the reason why you're saving is you're enabling bold action in the future. You're not just saving just for the sake of saving, right? The money doesn't do anything just sitting there. So why are you saving? Well, to enable bold action. Now, that could be starting a business. That could be giving generously. That could be supporting your family or supporting other relationships that you're in. That could be investing in something, right? But remember, it's for something. It's not just money for the sake of money. That's dumb, right? And so what are you saving it for? But then if you're a spender, I want you to think about this principle as an encouragement to focus on the value and the virtue of sacrifice. Live within your means. Live below your means, right? Make more than you spend. Trust that there's something big, bold, that you are responsible for in the future, that when it comes, when it avails itself, you want to make sure you're not crushed and crippled by debt or just living paycheck to paycheck and unable to respond to the opportunity that it avails when it avails itself. And so frugality, living on less than what you make, enables, it gives you the ability to take bold, audacious, adventurous, courageous, faith-filled action. You are preparing now. And it doesn't always look like faith whenever you're saving up, but recognize that it's great faith to save up for a future that you don't yet know what it is. You just know that when it gets here, you want to be ready. Frugality enables bold action.